Hey guys, what's up? lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the brand new 2018 murder, mystery, horror, drama, psychological thriller Escape Room, directed by Adam Robitel, starring Deborah Ann Wall. We know her from Daredevil. Taylor Russell, we know from Lost in Space. Logan Miller, who is awesome because you can love him and you can hate him. I first was introduced to Logan Miller through Scout's Guide to the Apocalypse. He did an awesome, badass job in that. And then we know him as Martin Addison from Love, Simon, who is a evil character. And then, now we have him in this wonderful role as well. So it's nice to see him doing different themed projects. And then Tyler Labine is another great actor in this movie. We know him as the voice of Hunk from Voltron, Legendary Defender. What else? I was first introduced to him as an actor through Tucker and Dale. It's just Tucker and Dale is such a perfect horror film. There's a bunch of other people that are in this film, but the premise is very, very simple, but not at the same time. It is a real life escape room, and what's interesting about this film is that escape rooms have been very, very popular throughout the world within the last 5-7 years. You go into a themed room, you have to find different clues and, number combinations to unlock doors. And there's, 3 rooms, 5 rooms, 10 rooms. Different companies have different levels of, intricacy. I've been to one. It's pretty entertaining. There's a bunch on Long Island. There was a news story recently that 5 teenage girls actually died in an escape room in Poland because of a fire. And there should have been safety protocols in play, but it's still tragic. They went to celebrate a friend's birthday, and unfortunately they did not escape. No pun intended, but it's true. So when this movie was first announced, everyone was very confused because it was kind of like Saw. But we were like, all right, it's a new horror movie. We'll give it a try, and it has done phenomenal. It has a $9 million budget. So far, as of right now, it's grossed $26 million around the world, which it's doubled its budget. So I'm assuming there's going to be a sequel, just because of how perfectly set up the ending was. Now, spoiler-ridden review, so viewer discretion is advised, because there's so much that happens in this film that we do need to talk about. So all of these victims, these players, if you will, have a very elusive backstory that we don't really get to until throughout the film, which is smart. The movie opens with Logan Miller falling through a ceiling, trying to solve a room and getting crushed, right? Then the movie progresses. We are introduced to these different characters and, their jobs. Basically, they get a puzzle box invitation. They solve the puzzle box invitation. They go to this escape room. The escape room starts with them in this hot box. It turns into an oven kind of a thing. And then different aspects of different people's backstories coming out. They solve the one room. They go into this, shack. And then they escape the shack and they go to this icy tundra area. Then they go into this upside down bar, which was just genius. Filming it, the cinematography in that bar, perfect. And then after that, what's after the bar? They go into a triage center where they learn that all of them have been survivors, that they were all in a hospital at some point because of some life-threatening something. Someone, was in a drunk driving accident. Someone survived an airplane crash. Someone survived an IED explosion. Someone survived carbon monoxide poisoning. Someone survived hypothermia. They all had that in common. So it was a matter of who found this out, why they all picked, if they're survivors, to actually survive. And then Taylor Russell, who plays this girl Zoe, is very, very smart. And she's talking about the probability that they shouldn't have survived circumstances that they were in, but they did survive. So now it's a matter of, can they survive again? Then after that, there's like this psychedelic room, and then after that, Logan falls through the ceiling where the movie first starts, but he doesn't get crushed completely. He gets a sword, he hides in a fireplace, he then breaks through, and he wins the game. And then we meet the game master, right? Who explains that all of these rich people spend all of this money to create these games is that the game designer is the one who creates these games to appease the clients because they're tired of basic bets, so they just bet on all of these things. So it's very much Saw in a sense of trap form, but it's a very much sense of Hostel, where these rich people pay a lot of money to cause harm to people. I never thought that Hostel met Saw in a mystery, like a puzzle kind of game, would make sense. And that's what this movie is. It makes sense. The entire time I'm watching it, I'm just smiling and I'm nodding. Like, okay, I see what you did there. Oh, that's a good twist. All right. That backstory makes sense. I like how it was, it all circled back. The deaths were not as graphic as most of the Saw and Hostel deaths, but they're still deaths. It's not... Was there blood? Was there that much blood? There wasn't that much blood, actually. I think Logan Miller with the thing in his leg was really the only blood, now that I think about it. Yeah, very seldom blood. I'm so impressed. My favorite shot is when Deborah Ann Wall's character, is on the top of the bar, in the upside down bar. She's trying to open a safe, a lockbox. So they get the numbers that Zoe finds from some puzzle thing, and they find that that's the colors representing the shapes are the pool balls. So then they eventually have to find an 8-ball to unlock a door, right? And the camera does this thing where it's still filming Zoe on top of the safe, on top of the bar, opening the safe, but it reverses as if you're looking at it like in a regular perspective, not an upside down perspective. So you have Zoe then upside down. And it was so smart. All it is just a camera flip. That's it. Bro, cinematography was great. The sets were awesome. Lighting was great. Cinematography was great. Actors were really convincing. Really good. Like I said, I love Logan. Logan is an awesome actor. And to see him in so many different roles, zombie apocalypse horror, Love, Simon was very drama comedy, where he was a very strange yet interesting character. And then now you have him in this escape room possible series, because Zoe and Logan both defy the odds and kill the game master. But who is the game designer? Who's in charge of the whole operation? And then the movie ends with a simulation of a, airplane about to crash into a mountain. And it's like, oh, there's a 40% probability that they'll, actually survive. And the game designer's like, good, because, what kind of fun would it be if they couldn't actually survive? So smart. So smart. So thank you, Adam, for directing an amazing film that came out of nowhere, and I did not expect it to be as great as it actually was. So, blew my expectations out of the water. Awesome. Awesome film. Can't wait for more. I want more. You better make more. Please, Sony and Columbia. Thank you very much. Mucho mahalo, guys.